Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is August the 15th, 2025. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Today has felt a lot better, but first things first, happy Friday. Happy Friday to ya. Hopefully you had a good Friday. Hopefully that energy carries and takes you far, far away to a magical grand place. As for me, my Friday has been pretty okay, pretty good for this week. Let's say it that way. For this week, we've had a really good day. With not having to work, I think that made the burden of the day so much lighter. So that helped tremendously. We woke up, we tended to the dogs, tended to the plants, hung out with the little kitty cat. Overall, they did pretty good throughout the day as well. I'm gonna check on them like one more time for the night. But let's see here. Post that, I came back home and I took a nap because I woke up at like 4 a.m. for some reason. I was like, great, I'm finally getting like one night where I know I can kind of at least sleep in a little bit, and I just wake up earlier, like earlier than my alarm. Great, love that. But the nap that we took was pretty good. I think kind of got me back on track. So we got back up and we went and did laundry. So we got the laundry done. There really weren't any problems there. We love that. That was nice and easy. And went to go check on the dogs. After that, then we went to the gym. Gym was definitely a highlight portion of the day. It was max lifting day. We're lifting heavy. And I got to attempt some PRs. And I keyword on attempt here, but where I'm at, whenever I get to like certain, like I'm getting close to a milestone, I get excited. Like I get hyped. So today was a hype day because for the first time, we got to try 3 plates. So that's 3 plates on each side. That's a lot of weight for me, especially from when we started this shit, y'all. Like I went from being able to lift 145, like, bit of a struggle, but we can do that, to now I am officially attempting to bench, to squat, to deadlift 315 motherfucking pounds. Now, granted, yes, is it on a Smith machine? Yeah, whatever. You can boo me, you can say, whatever, that doesn't count, whatever. Shit, it don't count because my form is ass as fuck. I don't give a damn. This is all personal for me, so I'm really just, patting myself on the back here. I'm really happy that I've made it to even this point in terms of just my fitness journey, if you will. So we first try the bench press, and I am just, like I said, also, it's worth noting the advantage of the Smith machine. They have the like safety, I don't know what they're called. I'm going to call them pins, but they're not pins. But essentially you set them where you want, like you can set the bar. And that was really helpful for this whole, exercise, because that way I knew that because I don't have a spotter, right? I'm doing this no spot. I'm doing it by myself. So that way, if it got too intense, I knew, hey, I'm going to save myself with these safety pins. And luckily, it wasn't like any kind of, close call or anything like that. I just was able to, get it up, not exactly get it down, but move it a little bit. And I was like, okay. We did a few of those. We got a little motion there. Let's rack it. Then I didn't do it so much for the incline bench press or incline bench. That's something that is definitely a weaker area for me, and that's okay. That stayed the same. Then we did squat at 315. Once again, the safety things were there more or less just to make me feel a little safer. We didn't have to use them, but once again, I just didn't get down low at all. It was once again an exercise of, can you do this, and is this going to hurt you? How does it feel? Does it feel okay? And overall, it felt okay. It's just too heavy right now. But we'll get there. That's the goal. That's the point, is you try it out, you feel it out, and you keep wading in the water a little bit every week until eventually it becomes more normal. And also on every one of these big sets, what I would do, start off with the 315, knock it back down to 275, knock it all the way down to 225. And I'm doing this because at the end of the day, for me, let's just not forget how we started the summer, y'all. I started the summer pushing 225, being like, oh my God, this is so scary. Ugh. I can move that so much easier now. It makes me so happy to just have that progress alone. So I'm really just stoked and thrilled about that. Post the squat, we did the deadlift, and this was my favorite. This was like the best part of it all because I go for 1 rep, but it's a rep that I pull the fuck off. And I'm so excited about that. Like, it was a full rep. I can count it for me. I feel good about that. So I can officially say I can deadlift 315 fucking pounds. So that feels really good. That's something that I'm putting in my pocket, putting that in the wallet, so to speak. Felt really good. Felt so damn good. So, overall, good gym session. I will say, caveat to that though, I then went to the free weights and I was like, yeah, same shit, same whatever. And I was going to max out, just do my 75s because that's the biggest we have there at the Planet Fitness. And I couldn't. I was just like, I guess maybe a little bit out of gas. So I had to go down to like 60, but I was like, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Mission accomplished. We're good. Let's let's fucking go. Right. Rest of the workout went well, which is another good thing is that my back is fine. I don't have any extra pain, any problems, knock on wood. So overall, a great experience for my workouts, session. I love that. Post that, we come home, have a little snack, check on the, animals again, check on the pets and everything. And, they're doing good. And, I come back home. And this is where I have a bit of an issue, a bit of a caveat. Someone parks in my spot in like the 30 minutes that I'm gone. And normally it's like, okay, it is what it is. I get annoyed about this shit. But this is the second time. I don't think I mentioned the first time. Maybe I did. In the scrum of things, my brain has been mush for most of this week. Mea culpa. But the first time, earlier this week, they were there throughout, like, I think they parked in my spot, I want to say Sunday. And they were there the whole time. And I guess they were fixing their car. Someone was playing mechanic in my parking spot. Again, this happens. Y'all know this has happened before. So I had to call the whole landlord. They had to put an official notice on there. And then they finally move. They finally get their act together on the day that they're going to get towed. So I was already like on 10 about this. So that's why I'm mentioning it now. Because I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. 2 times in the same fucking week. Like, it's so stupid. Like, and I get it. At the end of the day, I'm in a really shitty, busy, congested parking space or parking lot area, whatever. It's just how it goes. It's part of the shitty amenities that come with it. But it's my amenity, right? So as I get older, I become more of a curmudgeon about this specifically. That I'm like, it's my spot. Get out of it. Like, so of course I do the passive aggressive. This is an assigned spot. I put that on there. That's the first one. You keep it up. I'm gonna call it in. I'm gonna drop the dimes on you, and I'm gonna hope that you get towed. Because yes, I am that guy. But yeah, that is where we're at. I'm trying not to let little stupid stuff like that bother me and take away from my day. In terms of how I'm feeling, still, you probably can hear the congestion. You can hear that, a little snotty too hotty. But feeling a little bit better. I think just the slower pace of the day, a little bit extra rest has done a good thing for me. Good things for me. But I'm hoping that post, the house sitting stuff, I can start getting on the mend. As much as I love the pets, as much as it's fun being a little dad uncle or a pet uncle. Whew, like, I gotta pay the price with this shit, y'all. It's no good. But yeah, I think we have one more day. Tomorrow is the last day of it. And it's at best or worst, whatever you want to call it, it's a half day because they'll be coming back at least by the evening. So I'm happy about that. You know what I mean? For sure. But yeah, let's go ahead and do our startup and let's get into some news. I realized I did not have enough water, but that's okay. We're going to tank it. Oh, also, I failed to mention, because last night I was just so tired. Once again, I know I didn't eat. I'm slapping myself on the hand right now. Tisk, tisk, tisk. I was like, I got to get something. And so I did start off my day with a smoothie from Smoothie King. That was nice. Apparently on Fridays, they have a deal where the smalls and the mediums are the same price on Fridays. So there you go. Go ahead and get in there and get you, I guess it's kind of a deal, whatever. But yeah, I got the strawberry lemon twist or lemon twist strawberry. I think I always say it backwards. But yes, it was yummy. It was good. All right. Anyway, let's do our startup. Also not sponsored. All right. Our first story comes from Reuters. Nearly 200 people killed in heavy rain, floods in Pakistan. Nearly 200 people were killed in torrential rains in northwest Pakistan over the past 24 hours, with bad weather also bringing down a rescue helicopter, local officials said on Friday. Cloudbursts, flash floods, lightning strikes, and building collapses amid heavy rain caused fatalities in the hills and mountains of Khyber. Ooh, I'm getting this wrong. Patunakwa, mea culpa, province, they said. The National Disaster Management Authority, a government body, put the death toll at 194 late on Friday. Worst hit was the Bruna area, where floods and heavy rain caused 100 deaths, the provincial chief secretary Shabab Ali Shah told Reuters. A helicopter carrying relief supplies to those hit by flooding in Bajor, close to the Afghan border, crashed due to bad weather, killing the 5 crew members. Let's see. But I was listening to the BBC, and we've covered, very major storms before, and they mentioned the reminder of, like, as bad as this was, in years prior, they've had worse. So they're kind of just counting their blessings that this was the extent of the damage. And it's also unfortunate, too, that with climate change getting worse and worse throughout the years, a country like Pakistan that has impacted that in a negative way, the very least, or, on the least end, you know what I mean, on the lesser end, is bearing the brunt of it in terms of, like, all of the adverse, extreme weather conditions that just get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, which is a very sad ongoing trope that we seem to cover and see in news, in life, and that's unfortunate. But we make the most of it. Condolences to the people who've lost their lives and, have their whole lives uprooted by a storm like this. I know, you just got to keep it moving despite the weather. Anyway, let's move on to our next story. This was, we mentioned it, I want to say at the top of the week, like Sunday or whatever, about this big old Trump-Putin meetup. I didn't know where at the time. Turns out it was going to be in Alaska. So yeah, it has been something that has been milked to death this whole week. And like all the news I've been listening, like what's going to get said? Who, is there going to actually be a ceasefire? Is it going to be a big waste of fucking time? Like there's been so many questions. Should this be a thing because Putin is a pariah and this is like giving him added profile and boost, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. But here we are. We're on the day and it happened. It has come and it has gone. So let's talk about it a little bit. From Yahoo News, Trump-Putin meeting live updates. No deal reached at Russia-Ukraine war summit in Alaska. Leaders praise extremely productive talks. Also, the handshake that they did was very strange. And honestly, it's Trump's fault. Like he's doing a thing where like he's doing the double handshake, which is already weird. It's a weird power move to do, but like he's doing the like it's almost like a style of like he's got hawk and dove or something where he's clasping Putin's hand and then the other one is caressing the top of it. Like, brother, if you're gonna double handshake me, do it proper. You clasp my shit like a clam, and you give me that, like, I could make it so you could never leave. You know what I mean? Like, what is this? What is that strategy? Who taught you that? That's got to be something he learned in New York. I don't know. Maybe like it's a family move. Strange. Anyway, let's get into the meat of it. Sorry, I just thought that was very odd. Like, what a weird way to shake someone's fucking hand. Anyway. President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin both said that significant progress was made towards an agreement for a potential ceasefire in the war in Ukraine, but that a final deal had not yet been reached during their high-stakes summit in Anchorage, Alaska on Friday. Now, they said it was productive, but we don't know what was said. Nothing has been shared as of yet. I guess they might meet again in the future for more talks. Also, it's definitely worth noting that Zelensky was not in the room for any of this stuff. He had some things to say, and essentially what he said was, we are not seceding any territory. So I think a big emphasis was on the Donbass region. Also, it's worth noting, too, that while this is all going on, Russia is still pushing their offensive. They're still trying to do the land grab and, get as much territory as they can before anything is finalized. Not to mention, they're not really sitting down to finalize anything. At least as we know of as of right now. So we'll see. We'll see if maybe the demeanor of Trump changes, because he's been so back and forth. Like, he started off like literally parroting the things that Putin was saying to being like, I'm getting really frustrated by this. This is really annoying. Like, Putin's got to get together. He's got to stop playing me. And now he's kind of like, well, let's see what he has to say. Let's see. I'll know. He says this thing. He was saying this thing this week where he's like, I'll know in 2 minutes of talking whether or not we're going to a deal. And if not, then, I'll be walking out. I'll be done. But now he's coming out saying, oh, well, we had a really productive talk. But, we will see in time how productive that is. If this was anything real and leads to any kind of peace. If you want my 2 cents or thoughts on it, probably not. I think this was a nothing burger that a lot of people suspected it was. That's why I didn't want to do any kind of blow for blow coverage, because it was just people bloviating about it. Like, I personally hate, and I know this may be a bit hypocritical for me to say, I personally hate when I listen to a news podcast or whatever, and they just go long talking about something that they know this is nothing. Like, it's not leading to anything. Like, you should just shut up about it until it happens. But they're like, nah, we got this expert. We're talking about this and we're talking about that. And it's like, do you guys just have nothing to cover today? Like, you're just kind of using this because you talked about it yesterday and you talked about it the day before that. Like, what the hell? What the hell? It's not new. This isn't a new development. But they got experts. They got the money. That's how they want to use their time. I completely get it. Meanwhile, I'm over here talking about, what beer I drank. So, like, once again, who am I to fucking speak? So yeah, we will be back. We will be back. I don't know, maybe not Alaska. Also, it's worth noting people did protest in Alaska, but it's like, I mean, this was a state that voted for Trump, so I really don't care that people came out like, yeah, you guys should care about Zelensky and Slava Ukraine. Like, yeah, okay, cool, man. But, like, it doesn't matter. This is going to happen here. I don't want to have Putin in my state. Well, too bad. He's here. He's hanging out. Just like Benjamin Netanyahu came to fucking America. We love hanging out with fucking war criminals. We love entertaining them and not arresting them. That's crazy. I mean, what am I talking about? Like, this is America. This is fucking America. All right, let me move the fuck on. We have some reading to do. All right. From CNN. New Orleans mayor indicted over allegations of trying to hide relationship with bodyguard. Ooh, this is some Whitney Houston, fucking Kevin Costner heat. But with a bit of scandal, well, because it's politics and not like a singular situation. Anyway, New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell, I think I'm saying that name correctly, was indicted Friday in what prosecutors called a years-long scheme to hide a romantic relationship with her bodyguard, who was accused of being paid as if he was working, even when they met alone in apartments and traveled to vineyards for wine tasting. Cantrell faces charges of conspiracy, fraud, and obstruction, less than 5 months before she leaves office due to term limits. The first female mayor in New Orleans' 300-year history, was elected twice, but now becomes the city's first mayor to be charged while in office. Public corruption has crippled us for years and years, acting U.S. Attorney Michael Simpson said, referring to Louisiana's notorious history. And this is extremely significant. Cantrell's bodyguard, Jeffrey Vappy, I actually like that name, Vappy, was already facing charges of wire fraud and making false statements. He has pleaded not guilty. A grand jury returned an 18-count indictment Friday that added Cantrell to the case. They're accused of exchanging encrypted messages through WhatsApp to avoid detection and then deleting the conversations. The mayor and Vappy have said their relationship was strictly professional, but the indictment portrayed it as personal and intimate, which I feel like the trail is kind of saying. But that's allegedly, that's just my speculation. I'm just a guy. I feel like I gotta start saying this is satire, by the way. Reminding all that I'm not an expert. You can't, don't sue me. Anyway, the mayor's office didn't immediately respond to a phone, message, or email from the Associated Press seeking comment on the charges. Cantrell hasn't sent out a message on her official feed on X, formerly known as Twitter. I love that we're still doing that. Since July 15th, when she said the city was experiencing historical declines in crime. Well, that's nice, but, you're still committing a crime, so I don't know. Anyway. In a WhatsApp exchange, the indictment says Vappy reminisced about accompanying Cantrell to Scotland in October of 2021, saying that's where it all started. Now, there's keep a note of this date. This date, October 2021. That's an important date because I get to the end of this and it made me bounce all the way back up here. I think it's very important that you remember that date, my dear listeners. Anyway, let's continue. Cantrell and Vappy used WhatsApp for more than 15,000 messages, including efforts to harass a citizen, delete evidence, make false statements to FBI agents, and ultimately commit perjury before a federal grand jury, Simpson said. The pair met in an apartment while Vappy claimed to be on duty, and Cantrell arranged for Vappy to attend 14 trips, Simpson said. The trips were described by her as times when they were truly alone. He said, yeah, why do you need to be alone with your bodyguard? Like, oh, this is strictly professional. It doesn't look that way. Like, it's not what you guys are saying. Like, it's literally you guys giving it away via these, these messages that you thought would never get leaked. So I don't know what to tell you. New Orleans taxpayers paid more than $70,000 for Vappy's travel, the prosecutor said. Authorities cited a September 2022 rendezvous on Martha's Vineyard, a trip Cantrell took instead of attending a conference in Miami. Vappy's travel to the island was covered by the city to attend a separate conference. The times when we are truly traveling is what spoils me the most, the mayor wrote to him in that month. Like, what are y'all doing? Like, do your fucking job, dude. Like, what the fuck? Like, no, I'm gonna go canoodle. I'm gonna canoodle my sexy bodyguard, Mr. Vappy. Like, what are you doing? Get it together. Girl, this is not girl boss. This is not girl bossing. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm speaking out of turn here as a man. Performative male. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, I keep thinking about that phrase, the performative male. That's some TikTok bullshit. Anyway, Simpson said Cantrell lied in an affidavit that she activated a function on her phone that automatically deleted messages in 2021 when she really hadn't, when she really didn't I think they mean activate that feature until December 2022. 1 month after the media began speculating on the pair's conduct. That's very shady. It's like, oh, you're seeing the rumors. You're like, oh, I got to use the WhatsApp feature. Delete, delete, delete. When a private citizen took photos of the pair dining together and drinking wine professionally, question mark? Like, Cantrell filed a police report and sought a restraining order, Simpson said. Vappy retired from the police department in 2024. Cantrell and her remaining allies allege that she's been unfairly targeted as a black woman and held to a different standard than male officials. No, you neither male or female, you shouldn't do this fucking shit. Whether you're black, white, Cuban, Italian, it doesn't matter. You should not be having a fucking. I'll wait. I'm about to spoil. Anyway, her executive powers sabotage Simpson. Simpson, however, shook off claims that race and gender played a role in the investigation. It's irrelevant that it's romance or that it's female, he told reporters, adding that the allegations were an incredible betrayal. Sorry, I got some. It's an incredible betrayal of people's confidence in their own government. Cantrell, a Democrat, has clashed with council city members during a turbulent second term and survived a recall effort in 2022. This is a sad day for the people of New Orleans. Monet Brignac, a spokesperson for the city council president J.P. Morrell, said as news of the incident spread. In 2014, former New Orleans mayor Ray Nagin was sentenced to 10 years in prison for bribery, money laundering, fraud, and tax crimes. The charges stem from his 2 terms as mayor from 2002 to 2010. He was granted supervised release from prison in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic. As she heads into her final months in office, Cantrell has alienated former confidants and supporters, and her civic profile has receded. Her early achievements were eclipsed by self-inflicted wounds and bitter feuds with a hostile city council, political observers say. The mayor's role has weakened following voter-approved changes to the city's charter meant to curb her authority. Whew. And this is the last part. Earlier this year, Cantrell said she's faced very disrespectful, insulting, in some cases, kind of unimaginable treatment. Her husband, attorney Jason Cantrell, died in 2023. Now, I told y'all we're going to bounce all the way back up in 2021 of October is when they had their little tryst, this bodyguard and her, Mr. Vappy and Cantrell in fucking Scotland, where it all began. So, that's a little. Look, at the end of the day, if you're a man, if you're a woman, if you're black, if you're fucking whatever, it doesn't matter. When you're corrupt to the goddamn gills, you're corrupt to the goddamn gills, and you're swimming with the fishes on that. I don't know what to tell you. So you could play this whole thing of like, oh, this is just some kill the queen thing. They hate me because I'm just black and I'm a woman, and it's just like, I'm being falsely persecuted. There's an evidence trail, sweetheart. They found that shit. You weren't good enough on that. They got you. So I don't know what to tell you. To me, this feels justified in the sense of like the investigation, and we'll see. Hopefully I can kind of, come back to the story and see how it unfolds. But yeah, we've covered stories like this before. Corruption is corruption. It's fucked up to me, so I'm going to be drawn to cover it for sure. And I want to call out like it is. If it's ever a situation where I feel like someone's being falsely accused of it, then I'll mention that. I'll say that shit. I do my best to want to champion the people who I think are in the right? But if you're not, and you're just trying to fucking get away with it, then no, I'm booing you. I got a tomato for you, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Boo! You stink. Do better. Like, you use city, like city fucking money for this shit, dude. To go canoodle with some guy, like your bodyguard. Yeah, icky, man. I just don't fuck with that. Anyway, we have one more story that I wanted to cover. And, it's sandwich related, but it's not a food corner, unfortunately. But I mean, hey, I guess you're fighting the power with a foot long. That's something, right? Anyway, let's go ahead and take our last break and we'll close it out. Oh. I have the Pokemon World Championship. I believe it's a video game. It might be video game and trading card up in the background on silent. And I'm seeing someone rock space buns, and I'm like, they're like a commentator, and I'm like, this is a professional setting when you can rock space buns. I don't think you go to your trial of an attempted murder with space buns. That's an inside baseball thing to another episode this week. But hey, you know what I mean. If you know, you know. But there's just a time and place for space buns. That's all I'm saying. By all means, though, girl boss wherever you want. Maybe that is a girl. Maybe that's like a peak dominance move, being like, I don't care, bro. I'm coming to this thing with the buns out. I don't care. I don't give a damn. Oh my goodness. It's very hot. August is Augusting. Ooh, boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right. From the BBC. Man arrested after sandwich thrown at federal agent in Washington, D.C. An employee at the U.S. Department of Justice, the DOJ, has been arrested for throwing a Subway sandwich at a federal agent deployed to Washington, D.C. as part of President Trump's vow to crack down on crime. Sean Charles Dunn, who had worked in the DOJ criminal division, was fired after video of the incident emerged. Excuse me. He's being charged with federal assault. The presence of federal law enforcement agents as well as the National Guard has led to widespread anger in the mostly Democratic city. I failed to mention that too when Trump used the home rule law and took control of the police. He not only did that, but he also then sent in the National Guard, just like he did with California. So, in LA or whatever. So essentially, it's the same fucking motion. It's the same energy. That is what I meant, like when I'm saying he's just like doing the Iron Fist routine of saying, hey, I can do this anywhere. I can do this however the fuck I want. I will find a way to make it happen so that I can show you that I have the power. But yeah, so Dunn here, who, and this is where I'm kind of maybe hesitant to be like, oh yeah, man, what a hero. Like, he threw his hero at that motherfucker. Like, this is a guy who is working at the Department of Justice. So, like he was currently there. So, I mean, yeah, you might be in D.C. That might be where you live. Maybe you voted for Kamala. Maybe you did. Maybe not. I don't know. Whatever. You're just doing what your job. But regardless, your job is working for the Trump administration. I don't really know how else to square that. So maybe this guy is just having this like schism while he's looking at these like, you know, these law enforcement mooks. I don't know if mooks is a weird bad word. Maybe don't cancel me. I just like saying that word. If it's problematic, let me know. I don't know. You know, these douchebags, and you know, he yells at them and he calls them fascists and he throws his Subway sub at them. Now, this is what I need to know. And my dear listeners, if you have any intel on this, if you know what the Subway sandwich was that he ordered, that he was willing to sacrifice, my sacrifice for justice, please let me know, because I want to know. I'm very curious. There was a steak pun that was made. I was reading in another article. I'm like, very clever, but was it a steak sub? That's important for me. You know, real eaters want to know what he threw. You know what I mean? Was it wet? Like, did it have extra sauce? You know, is it a veggie delight? I'm curious. Oh my God. I'll tell you what, it's biological warfare if he threw, like a fucking tuna sub on white. Oh man, he meant it then. Then you know what? Maybe they do terrorism charges. I'm fucking up. I'm fucking around. No. I don't know. I generally think that this is, I'm not going to say it was blown out of proportion, that they are charging him with a fucking felony though. He did get fired. There's also a video if you want to look it up. Actually, let me just go ahead and read a little bit of the rundown. In a video of the incident, which prosecutors cite in their charges, the suspect is heard calling the agents fascists and screaming profanities directed at them. Why are you here? I don't want you in my city, he yells before crossing the road. He later returns and is hurling the wrapped sandwich into the chest of an uniformed agent who appears to be wearing a bulletproof vest. I really wish, because the video is like very anticlimactic to start. It just hits him, like it just, and then he proceeds to just run away. And like it's weird because it doesn't look like he's running very fast. But these law enforcement, man, they got to do better. They got to hit the gym, bro, because they are not moving fast enough. They are moving like Roblox characters to get this guy. Like there's a pack of y'all. Now they eventually get him, and then the incident goes viral. And at that point, Pam Bondi, Scam Blondie, she starts going off. She's talking shit. Also, he does cop to it, you know, when investigators come to him. Let's see. Yeah, he was arrested Wednesday. Here we go. I just learned that this defendant worked at the Department of Justice. No longer. Not only is he fired, he has been charged with a felony. That was from Bondi. Mr. Dunn had been working as a trial attorney for the Office of Internal Affairs within the DOJ's criminal division, according to CBS News, the BBC's U.S. partner. U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C. Janine Pirro, said in a video announcing Mr. Dunn's arrest that he thought it was funny. Well, he doesn't think it's funny today because we charged him with a felony. So there, stick your sandwich somewhere else. Shove it up your ass. They're so mad. They're so mad. They're big mad about this. I really think you should just take it in stride. Once again, you guys have all the power. The Trump administration has all of the fucking power. And it's like you're surprised that people are booing you about it, how you're moving around, how you're conducting yourself. Like, take it on the chin. You've won. Don't be a sore winner about it is more or less what I have to say. But I have to add, I'm not advocating. I'm not saying throw a veggie delight at your local whoever. I'm not saying that. I'm not advocating for that. I am merely saying the fact that this happened is funny as fuck. It's just fucking hilarious. So I had to talk about it. The unusual nature of the incident led to several jokes online, including the comment, assault with a deli... I love this shit. Assault with a deli weapon. That's good. That's fucking good. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. Even if you're the guy who got hit with the sandwich, you got to read some shit like that and say, that's kind of good. I would think, right? A gag which received more than 1,500 upvotes on Reddit. Wow. Big karma moment for that person. Anyway, as usual, we'll come back to update on our sandwich caper here with no capers. Somebody should have capers. But whatever. Actually, I don't know. They might literally be rubber balls. You can't trust it. The bread's not bread. The tuna's not tuna. What's real there? Anyway, what's real? Justice. On that note, that'll be the episode. If you'd like to help out support the effort, I do have a Patreon. Patreon.com. So this is Isaiah News. Become a newsie today. Free ways to hit me up, isaiahnews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast. Sorry, spaced out there for a little bit. Any other socials, find me on YouTube. Find me on TikTok. Find me on Spotify. Find me on Apple Podcasts, at least the podcast. You want to keep up with that. Hit that follow button. Hit that subscribe button. Whatever the button is, just hit it. Leave a like. Leave a cool comment. Sharing is caring. It's always helpful to do those things. All the stars, if that is an option that you can do on your little doohickey device thing, platform, app, site, whatever. But I always say it. I always try to say it. I don't always say it, but I try to. I really just appreciate you listening. It's really a pleasure to hopefully be, if not insightful to a certain extent. I'm not so much that, but maybe entertaining. Hopefully you've enjoyed this little moment, that we've got to share in a non-parasocial, just cool way, just a vibe, Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend, and hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.